Hello BookTube! Welcome to Lizzie Faye Loves Books. I'm Elizabeth, and this is going to be my TBR for the rest of May. Now, I did rib set for the first week of May, and in my wrap-up video, I showed what I read for rib set, as well as what I've been reading during the few days after that. So I'll show you real quick what I am trying to finish up, and then I'm going to start on a stack of middle grade books, because later this month, from May 20th to the 27th, is going to be Middle Grade May Reads, which is hosted by Akoss, and I believe Patti from I Smell Books. So I am going to read as many middle grade books as I can during the rest of the month, but first let me show you the audiobooks that I'm reading this month, and then and a couple things that I'm finishing up before I start on my middle grade books. The only other print book that I am reading after my rib set books is Blankets by Craig Thompson. It's a graphic novel, and I mentioned this on my last video. I am just about I have only read the first chapter out of 9 in this book, so I'm going to finish this. The first chapter went super quick, so probably if I put my mind to it, I could finish this in just, a couple of hours. On audio for the next few days, I'm going to be listening to Clockwork Angel by Cassandra Clare. Then I'm also going to listen to the audio of All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. This is for my book club. And then I also have the Playway of Yes Please by Amy Poehler. If you're not familiar, Playways are just little MP3 players that have an audiobook on it, so you can carry it in your pocket and listen to it with headphones or earbuds. And so I am about probably 2 hours into this, and I'm enjoying it so far. And in my car, I'm listening to the second Harmony book by Philip Gulley. This is called Just Shy of Harmony, and I am only about a fifth of the way done with this one. So after that, I'm not sure what I will listen to in my car. I want to listen to middle grade books during the week of Middle Grade May Reads as well. So I have ordered a few from the library, and I can't even remember now what I ordered. And I also have a few on my shelf. So you'll just have to wait and see in my wrap-up at the end of the month what I ended up listening to on audio. So I spent quite a bit of time on Goodreads looking through my TBR, pulling out the middle grade books, moving them all up to the front, and then kind of figuring out what I wanted to save for the last week of May and what I wanted to go ahead and read. Let me show you first what I'm going to save until the actual week of the readathon. I have books from 3 different series that I am going to read then. I have the first 3 Spiderwick Chronicles. The first one is The Field Guide, then The Seeing Stone, and Lucinda's Secret. I don't have books 4 and 5, so I think so I want to go ahead and at least get these read, and then I'll worry about 4 and 5 after that. I also have the first 2 Wizard of Oz books by L. Frank Baum, The Wonderful Wizard of Oz and The Marvelous Land of Oz. So I have a few other Oz books, but I don't have the third one, so I want to go ahead and at least get these read. I believe that the third book, Ozma of Oz, is available on e-audio through Hoopla, which I can get through my library website. So I may go ahead and listen to the third one when I get done with these. And then I have books 3 through 5 of the Origami Yoda series. This is The Secret of the Fortune Wookiee, The Surprise Attack of Jabba the Puppet, and Princess Label Maker to the Rescue. I may go ahead and check out a couple of books from the Bookmobile. I noticed that they had a copy of Wonder, which I've been wanting to read, and also Echo by, I put the author down here. Echo is one of the Sunshine State Young Reader Award finalists that has just been announced for next school year, 2016-2017. So I'd like to go ahead and get a head start on those. I'm going to go ahead and start on Middle Grade May Reads early, and I'm going to read middle grade books all the way up until the readathon starts, and then on through the readathon, and then to finish out the month. So here's what I'm going to read as soon as I finish with Blankets. I'm going to start with Gregor and the Code of Claw by Suzanne Collins. This is the 5th book in the Gregor and the Underland Chronicles. This is the last book in that series, so this will finish that series for me. I had this on my TBR last year. I kept trying to get to it, and I just couldn't, but I am going to get to it now, and I'm excited to read it. My daughter, the rest of the series I listened to on audio, and Katie just insisted that this one must be read in print. So I found this at a library book sale, and I'm going to get it read. This will also finish a series for me. It's only a duology, but still. Cured is the sequel to Stung, which was one of this year's Sunshine State books. And Katie has already read both of the books twice, and they're really good. In fact, Stung won the Florida Sunshine State Young Reader Award for 6th to 8th grade. This is a dystopian series. and I am looking forward to reading the second and final book. And I'm going to go ahead and start a series. I don't know if I'll read any more of the series or not, but I've been promising Katie that I would read at least the first one. This is the very first Warriors book called Into the Wild by Aaron Hunter. This is the first book of the first series. Now, if you're familiar with this series at all, you know that there are 40 some odd books and several different series of 6 books each. So this is the first of the first, and I have tried to start it at least 2 or 3 times, and I just couldn't get through it. But I am going to make myself read it because it's one of Katie's favorite series, and she really wants me to read it. So I am going to do it for her. And then I have some Newbery winners that I'm going to reread. Out of the Dust by Karen, I don't know if it's Karen Hess or Karen Hesse, but this is basically written in verse, and it's about a girl from Oklahoma in the Dust Bowl days. I have read this before, but I don't remember a lot about it, and so I'm going to go ahead and read it again. It doesn't take very long to read, and since I'm from Oklahoma, I really want to read this again. Then another little short one by Cynthia Rylant. This is called Missing May, and this is one of the Newbery winners from the 90s. I listened to this on audio, but I have this copy on my shelf. It's very short. It is not even 100 pages, so I'm going to go ahead and reread this one. This is another Newbery winner from the 90s. I listened to this on audio, and I remember a little bit about it, but not enough, so I'm going to go ahead and read this one. And Yale Konigsberg has 2 Newbery winners, and the other one I remember enjoying in particular. I remember enjoying this one, not quite as much as the other one, but anyway, I'm going to give this a second look. Then I'm going to take it old school, and I'm going to read the first Happy Hollister's book. I'm sure I've read this in my past. If you've seen some of my early videos, you know I've collected a lot of these Happy Hollister books. They were the first book series I ever remember reading in the 3rd grade. I don't remember how many of them I read, but I have collected a few since I've been an adult, and this is the first one, so I am going to read this one. This series is by Jerry West. Then I'm also going to read The Junkyard Dog by Erica Tamar. This is one that my sister bought for my daughter Katie, and Katie has not gotten around to reading it yet. My sister, her name is Charla, she says that it is very good. She enjoyed it. She read it before she sent it to Katie. I just figured I would go ahead and read it since it's sitting on the shelf, and hopefully Katie will get it read one of these days too. This is the first of the Winston Breen novels by Eric Berlin. It's The Puzzling World of Winston Breen. Katie and I picked this up at the Scholastic Warehouse sale last year. I know there are other books in this series. She was interested in reading these a couple years ago. She checked one out from the library, and I don't think she ever finished it. So we saw it at the Scholastic sale. It was like, I think we probably paid 85 cents for it or something like that. So it's been sitting on the shelf too, and it needs to be read. This is one that Katie read last year, 11 Birthdays by Wendy Mass. And now she's 12, so we've got to find the next book in the series. But I kind of wanted to read it along with her, so I'm going to get this one read so that by the time we get the second book, then I will be able to read it along with her too. This is Katie's book. She got this, I think, at Book Fair a few years ago, and she just sped through it. I think she reread it. She said it was really, really good. It is by Peg Carrot, called Runaway Twin. It's about a girl who is a twin, but her and her twin sister were separated at the age of 3, and so she is trying to find her. And so I am looking forward to reading this. And this one just looks like a lot of fun. Here Lies the Librarian by Richard Peck. My friend from church who has read a lot of Richard Peck books said that this one's hilarious, so I am really looking forward to this one. And if I get all those read, I will pick up book 4 of the Shadow Children series called Among the Barrens by Margaret Peterson Haddix. Another book that I have on my computer was sent to me by the author, Melody Bremen, and it's called Room 42. Let me show you a picture of that. It's a middle grade book, and so I hope to get that read as well. She was looking for people who read middle grade books to review her book, and so I told her I would be happy to read that. And she has another middle grade book that looks interesting too, so I may try to get to that one after I finish Room 42. There's a Goodreads group for middle grade May Reads, and I'll link that down below. I had actually already posted a comment to the group what I was going to be reading, and now it has changed a little bit because I realized that Akoss is also going to be hosting 2 other middle grade readathons later in the year. There's going to be one for the summer that where the challenge is to read middle grade books that take place during the summer, and then later on in the year there's going to be one for middle grade noms, which is books that are middle grade that are food centric. So a few of the books that I had picked out to read this month fit those themes. So I moved those down my TBR a little bit so I can save those for those readathons, and this, what I showed you, is what I'm going to read. So those are the books that I am reading for May. I hope you will join in on those readathons. Akoss is awesome. If you have not subscribed to her channel, please do. She's really great. And also Patti. Both of them are just two of my favorite people and favorite booktubers to watch. So I guess that's all I have for this video. I hope you're having a great day. Read a good book, and God bless you.